Fly 23. So I was out at Home Depot getting some wood that I needed because I'm building my wife a project for her Christmas present. It's basically like a mini fridge bar slash cabinet. And I just couldn't wait to get home to go live because they had this presser that was scheduled. This thing was scheduled to go live 2 hours ago. And there's talk of it being connected to the MIT killing. We talked about that in our live stream earlier today. Some of you thought it was a little far-fetched. Maybe we'll find out here in the presser that they are connected. What I'm hearing is that the same rental car that was seen in the area of the Brown University shooting was also seen near the home of the professor who was killed, the MIT professor. And it's not that, it's a short distance away. I think it's like an hour drive or something like that. And we also mentioned live rounds found at the crime scene and police not really releasing any images of those. I told you guys it could be very similar to what Luigi did, what they did at the ICE shooting, and something similar, I think, even with the Charlie Kirk shooting, right? Didn't he do something similar to that? So this presser's been delayed for about 2 hours. It makes you wonder if they're working on something, making sure that they got all the information correct. I wouldn't even be surprised if they reschedule. But the talk is that the MIT professor being killed is connected with the Brown University shooting. The rumor is that he has been identified. Maybe he was captured on camera without a mask.
Skip the lines this holiday season with Shields. They didn't have to show up during COVID. They don't try to show up now, and they don't show up. To the hell with organization. So that's what I'm hearing right now. Those are the whispers online. That the MIT incident is connected to the Brown University incident. Apparently the same rental vehicle was spotted at both locations. And I think maybe the same, I'm guessing,
that the same signature was left at both crime scenes as well. What's up, Teresita Hillis? I thought it was far fetched, possibly, but not probably. Too many conspiracy theories around every case, so I really didn't seriously consider the possibility. Cry wolf syndrome. Yeah, yeah, that's true. You know, 1 out of 10 is how I look at everything. 1 out of 10 potential conspiracies is a conspiracy. At least an identifiable or provable one. Grunge, what's up? The Unabomber used to target colleges and professors. Yeah, that's an interesting story. That's because he felt like they were polluting the minds of young people, which they are, right? Everything that's happening with these radicalized liberals right now, and like Grunge said earlier on the other live stream, yeah, we really can't call them liberal. They're just like radicalized far left. And I don't even know if that. They more resemble like nihilists or anarchists or something, so like something very satanic. They're so emotionally charged that they feel like the victims that they're advocating for deserve justice to the point where people need to be killed. Right? This matter needs so much attention that I need to kill people and do the most extreme things to bring attention to this subject matter. That's why people light themselves on fire. Welcome back. Welcome back. So this thing has been delayed now for 2 hours. And there's talk of the MIT professor being killed, that incident being connected to what happened here at Brown University. And I told you guys that we were going to look at that angle. We even discussed it. So here we are now at an update press conference, and there's talk that they actually are connected. I'm curious if some of the other pieces of speculation that we touched on are true, right? I mentioned the bullets being left at the crime scene, the unspent shell casing. I wonder if it was left as a signature, right? Remember, the guy walked into the classroom, according to witnesses, yelled something. And for whatever reason, nobody knows what it was that he yelled. I find that very peculiar, if anything. Maybe he mumbled. Or shit, maybe he's a foreigner. It was hard to make out what he was saying. But either way, he had a point. He was trying to make a point, which has everything to do with the motivation. It's not like your typical school shooter where they're just like, I want to inflict maximum damage. Any and everybody that's in my sights can get it. This was very strategic. Killed a Republican president of, I think, the Republican Club or something like that. Republican Party of Brown University. She could have been targeted. We'll call you, Timmy, 86 Crad. 86 says, if it's the same guy for both crimes, possibility of state-sponsored terrorism, I'm looking at you, Iran. Honestly, you don't have to look very far. You don't have to look to Iran. We have plenty of people here in the United States who are looking to inflict pain. But yeah, they could be being motivated by Iran. And they're definitely, if it is something that you're referring to, which we were told to watch out for, right? The FBI came out and made a national statement saying, you guys need to look out for lone wolf terrorist attacks. They told us that. So why would we be shocked if all of a sudden we find out this is some kind of terror attack? Something along those lines. Also, what about Bondi Beach over there in Sydney, Australia? There was 2 lone wolf gunmen, terrorists, attacking Jews at a Hanukkah celebration. That's the day after the Brown shooting. And now the Brown University shooting is connected to another shooting over near MIT. The professor was living in an apartment like right across the street from the campus. So something's going on here. Also, we had a big bust in California. I think it was Los Angeles. A bunch of radical left individuals out in the desert making pipe bombs, planning to set them off on New Year's Eve night, New Year's morning. Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? Oh, shit. Teresita Hillis, the $10 super chat. Very generous. So good to hear your voice and level headed insights. Yes, sirree. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Very, very, very generous. Hey, Sleuth, glad you remembered me. There's been a definite uptick in this insanity. Well, honestly, this is the only way to get it done, right? If you're part of some kind of terror group, what's that old joke? It's like the daddy bull and the baby bull or the cow are sitting up on a hill, and they're looking down at a bunch of cows. And the baby bull says, "Dad, let's go down there and have sex with all these cows. Let's just run down there and sleep with them all." And the dad says, "Well, why don't we just walk down there?" Or no, he says, "Why don't we run down there and sleep with one of these cows?" And the dad says, "Why don't we just walk down and we'll sleep with them all?" Kind of reminds me of what you would do if you were a terrorist organization and you didn't have the financial means, to wage, I guess, a traditional war. You would kind of go back to the French Indian War style where it was guerrilla warfare, lone wolves kind of coming and going in and out like a boxer, you know what I mean? Two individuals hit a targeted attack, and then six different states simultaneously do the same thing, right? They got to be meeting. They have to be meeting in some kind of back channel, communicating and organizing. And I wouldn't doubt it if it was something like Discord, but it's probably something worse. Because if these pedophiles and these CSAMers and sextortionists can get away with most of what they're doing, I'm sure these terrorists can get away with it too. If that's what we're dealing with, this could be some kind of disgruntled student. Who knows what the hell's going on here? If it is connected to MIT, that's definitely something scholastically. There's a scholastic connection there. The White Rabbit, what's up? The Bondi Beach shooter was cleared after having ties to ISIS. The real danger to society are white liberal enablers. I mean, they're the same thing. They're all part of the same fruit. It's like this weird satanic movement. That's why they relate to each other. That's why the radicalized left immediately went to the whole Palestine thing. The world was outraged about what was going on with Palestine. I know I'm still disgusted by it. But that doesn't mean you get to go around and kill Jewish people. That's not what's going on here. The landscape, what's up? Yes, Sleuth, there was some connection to the LA terrorists, to Louisiana and Indianapolis. Yeah, we're definitely dealing with some kind of organized movement. And we should expect it, right? The FBI tried to warn us about it. Tam B, what up? What crazy times we live in, and I'm here for every single bit of it. Yeah, just watch your back, right? Watch your back. Watched a video today where some deranged woman walked up to a lady who had just happened to be, I think, walking to her car or taking a break from her job, and this woman just walked up to her and stabbed her in the chest. I'm not even sure if she survived. All right, let me see if there's any updates going on this thing. I'm telling you, this thing's been delayed going on 2.5 hours, I believe. It says here on NBC Boston, person of interest in Brown University shooting identified. That was posted 4 minutes ago. Let's see if they have a photo.
This week, several Republican lawmakers pointed to one of the victims' political affiliation, claiming conservatives are increasingly being targeted.
There's nothing about what we know was perhaps said that indicates any kind of motive that is related at all to ethnicity or political outlook or culture.
Boston University professor Joan Donovan says uncertainty fuels speculation after a crisis supercharged on social media.
They start to really lock in on what they consider
Pitbull.
these breadcrumbs that are leading them towards a solution, is that they feel part of the cause.
Officials also warning people not to rely on or circulate AI-generated images being shared on social media. They're not verified nor credible.
Think about this before you post. Think, what happens if I'm wrong?
Leaders reassure
This is a free country. We can post whatever we want, buddy.
Give it some time.
And a reminder with that AI point too,
Within
only
reason.
go off of official videos and images related to this investigation. You always got to do a double take these days when you see something online. Take a good hard look at where that information is coming from, what the source is. providenceri.gov/tips. That has all of the official images and
Only
videos
listen to
that have
me.
been released so far. Priscilla?
Amelia,
Nah,
strong
we'll
message
do our
from
own
the Rhode Island
investigation.
Senator
Thanks.
Whitehouse.
Thanks,
Whitehouse,
Amelia.
thank you. And as this manhunt for the shooter continues, be sure to stay with NBC
Appreciate you.
Boston on air, online at NBCBoston.com, and by downloading our mobile app. We will provide any breaking news alerts as soon as we get them. We're going to continue to monitor Oscar down there at the press conference, waiting for them to begin. We will bring you updates from officials as soon as they begin speaking. Meanwhile, still to come here at the news at 6, emotional victim impact statements delivered today in court as Brian Walsh was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the murder of his wife, Anna. Plus, First Alert Chief Meteorologist Pete Bouchard has your forecast.
Priscilla, rain gathering to our west. We'll get into that tomorrow. Embedded.
See if I can find a photo. Hey, if you guys have a photo of this guy, or if you see anywhere where they released it, send it to me at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. Because I'm not really seeing anything online right now. Let's see. Let's look up the MIT shooter if he's been identified. Who the hell is this guy? MIT professor was shot dead. Says here, arrest warrant issued in Brown shooting as authorities probe connection to MIT. So there's a warrant. They have a name. So there's a warrant. Is there a way to look that up? If there was a police warrant filed there in Providence? Says here, investigators are searching for a suspect in the mass shooting and a car that the person is believed to have rented. Law enforcement sources said authorities believe the rented vehicle is the same model of a car that was detected in the vicinity of MIT professor's apartment. Nuno Loureiro, who taught plasma physics at MIT and led its plasma science and fusion center, was shot Monday at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts. He died at a nearby hospital the next day. Police are investigating his death as a homicide. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. I 18 minutes ago, police identify shooter by name. Well, who the hell? Professor Nuno to be linked. Let's see. Says the manhunt has now reached Salem in New Hampshire. See here, Boston 25 added that there is an arrest warrant for the person responsible for the death of two students earlier this week. Officials are yet to publicly name the suspect. So evidence from the MIT shooting must have led them to the killer, and then they realized that it was connected because of the car. That's crazy. I wonder what this is about. I mean, these guys all seem pretty smart. Hopefully they didn't like fucking discover time travel or some shit. Now they're being killed for it. It's not like we would ever know. Some free energy. Antimatter. Let's see. 52 minutes ago, authorities search for a new person of interest in the shooting. Yeah, we already know that. Look at this fucking guy eating a donut and shit. Badass. He looks like the fucking shooter. He's got the build. Yeah, they're gonna give us a name. Redfoot, what up? Did this guy at Brown just start firing on random people? Well, what he did was he hung around the area, kind of scoping it out at about 2 o'clock. 4 o'clock, he comes running into the building, shoots a couple people in the hallway, walks into a classroom. He yells something out, like he didn't even have the gun out. He had it down at his side, walks into the classroom, yells something. None of the witnesses know exactly what it was. And he just starts shooting. They found live rounds, which to me might be a signature, right? Something's inscribed in them on the side. And apparently, so he killed 2 people, wounded 9, and then drove about an hour towards Salem and killed an MIT professor who lived just off campus in an apartment. Yeah, there's definitely more to this story, and I'm very curious as to know what the hell is going on. Right? He looks like the fucking killer. He's got the same. He's about the same height. He's got the same like turkey neck and beer belly. And the killer might be in this room. Where's Doug Carter when you need him? All right, we're going on 2.5 hours of delay. Man, what the hell could they be talking about? There must be breaking news going on back there. Maybe they're waiting for Kash Patel to fly his private jet in. Redfoot says, I bet he was after somebody. He waited 2 hours before he went in. It's like he was waiting on a particular class to be in the room. Well, one of the people, we speculated on one of the victims, which is a girl, and she was the president of the Republican Party or something like that there. The Republican Club or something along those lines. You know, and this is probably somebody that's very outspoken about conservative views, perhaps. And that's very triggering for radicalized lefty people. Like in their mind, it translates to you want to kill Palestinian babies, right? Whenever you say anything that's remotely moderate. So what you're saying is you want to kill babies. Like, no, what? I said I want a secure border. I didn't support my government during the Iraq war. Like, I didn't support that Bush regime. Feel the same way about this whole Netanyahu, who seems to be in power ever since the fucking Bush regime. Both of them. That's a dictatorship in my book. Okay, Doug Carter. And the killer might be in this room. Everybody looks around like, oh shit, it's you. It's the donut man. Hey, Mr. Donut Man. I'm going to kill you. What is that, on Wayne's World? Hey, Mr. Donut Man. I think she was the VP of the college Republicans, which would stand out an ultra liberal school like Brown. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this place is berserk. All of these universities are basically like MK Ultra facilities. Autumn Fragrance, what up? Has a suspect been arrested? I don't know if he's been arrested, but it's to feel that he has been identified and there is a arrest warrant. Says here they have issued a warrant for the individual's arrest. This is coming from multiple sources. But also, I think they're receiving breaking news, Autumn. There was another here. Let me pull up the MIT professor that was killed. That way we can learn a little bit more about that case. Okay, so this is according to, what is that, NBC Boston, Channel 10. Police are looking into whether a shooting in Brookline, Massachusetts that killed an MIT professor could be linked to a mass shooting at Brown University last weekend. 4 senior law enforcement officials tell NBC News. 4 senior law enforcement officials are the source here.
People in that Brookline neighborhood are tapping on your shoulder, gently asking for information about what is going on.
You're right, Glenn. This really, up until now, has been a sidebar to the story down in Rhode Island. But of course, that looks like it could change. We don't know, of course. And folks are starting to come home from work to the Gibbs Street neighborhood. In fact, we're on Beale Street right here. And right down the street is the birthplace of JFK, which is right down the street from where we are. But we have had people who've come up and asked, what's going on? Why are you guys here? Although they have seen us throughout the course of the week, the last couple of days. And we've been explaining that there's this connection that they are looking into related to the Brown University shootings. It's something that folks brought up to us earlier in the week, too. When we were here, they would just say, hey, is anyone looking at the fact that this could be connected to
Yeah,
the
we looked
shooting
at it.
down in Rhode Island, talking about the fact that these are 2 prestigious schools. That
so we were already
professors are
trying to
from
connect the
similar
2 before they
disciplines.
made it
So the
official.
folks in this neighborhood had that on their minds. As I can't imagine that the investigators didn't have that on their minds as well down in Rhode Island, even though they initially said that there was really no connection. As I said before, we've spoken with a number of law enforcement folks and experts, and they talked about the process that they have to go through in terms of determining whether or not there is a connection. And it's a process that they go through. They walk through. There's a number of names. They develop lists. They gather evidence. They gather information, and they try to get through it as best they can. And they start typically around the people closest to the victim, and then they work their way out. So despite the fact that, this connection is now being looked at, and folks may have complained about the fact that, why wasn't more being done? I think law enforcement was going through its process, going through its, moves to try to figure out where to go next, because it
Here's another report. Warrant issued in Brown University MIT professor shootings. So as of 35 minutes ago, this news outlet, Boston's news leader, WCVB, is reporting that they are officially connected. What's up, Brain Dancer?
Warrant has been issued. Sources also tell us tonight the search for the suspect now includes New Hampshire.
So between
New
Brown
Hampshire.
University and Brookline, Massachusetts, 3 people were killed, and you're looking at their photographs right now. Our John Atwater is live right now in Brookline, where that MIT professor lived and was killed, John.
Yeah, lived with his family here in a building behind us, Maria. And you know, since Monday night when this happened, right around 9 o'clock, there have been so many questions in this neighborhood because really police have released a few details about exactly how this all unfolded and a possible suspect. Now, it's so different than that Brown University case because we have not seen images of a person of interest or a possible suspect in this case. But key in this investigation, we know from neighbors that they heard a series of 3 gunshots that night. And there are reports that a sedan took off from this
Yeah, Rain
street.
Dancer.
What's not clear is if
Something's
someone
going
may have
on.
gotten a glimpse of the license plate on that car, or if possibly there is video of that car that may have captured the plate or enough of a
There must
description
be
of that car
information coming
that
in that
may
they're
have
verifying.
led police to a suspect. So earlier in this week, you know, I was at a news conference in Providence. They did not think that there was a connection between this Brookline murder and the mass shooting at Brown University. But something changed in the last 24 hours. And we're hoping to learn a little more about exactly what that was. But I can tell you in this neighborhood, of course, there's been a sense of fear all week, but now there is finally a little bit of hope that there may be some resolution and that this killer may be found.
That's where I wanted to go, John. You've been in the neighborhood tonight. What is
2.5
your sense tonight
hour
versus,
delay
for
so
example,
far.
24 hours ago?
Right.
Well, you know, I'd say there is, I guess you could almost call it relief that maybe police are that much closer to finding the person responsible for this horrific crime. But still, obviously, people are on edge here because this person is still on the run.
Still on the run, but we know an arrest warrant has been issued, and we know that there is a very active scene in New
arrest
Hampshire
warrant.
right now. So this is something that we continue to follow, and this is something that continues to break, and all the twists and turns that continue to happen with this story.
Thanks for joining us tonight. You're looking live in Providence. We're going to take a break. Our coverage continues right after the break. Stay with us.
Cruising is alive and well.
It's illegal to modify the suspension on a vehicle.
Testing. Microphone check. Testing. What's going on with these microphones here? This one's like right up in the guy's face. Let's see what CNN's talking about here. Investigators believe they have identified a suspect in the Brown University shooting. According to 2 law enforcement officials familiar with the case, the manhunt for the shooter is on its 6th in this week's killing of an MIT professor at his Massachusetts home. According to a law enforcement official close to the case, though the official stressed there's not yet definitive evidence of a connection. It just sounds like a leak, Autumn. Sounds like two officers who are close to the investigation had contacts within mainstream media and they leaked the information. They probably get paid to do that.
Okay. That's exactly what I was asking.
Yep. I don't think they have the name. I think so too. I think you might be right, Landscape. Yeah, there you go. The guy's supposedly about 5'8". It's hard to tell an age. I would say he's definitely probably anywhere between 18 and I don't know, maybe 45, 18 and 50. But most likely a student, right? Or a previous student, or maybe even faculty member. Let's see what's going on X. Maybe they did some digging. Dang, AP needs to fix her camera. That shit's all shaky. Don't make me go back to News 12. I'll do it. Testes, 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 testes. Elizabeth, what's up? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Hey.
Like, what's the connection? And what about the other guy that was
Your
killed?
agents.
Do you think he was like collateral
Right now, we
damage?
do not have a time. I'm coming up here to let you know that I am going to give everyone at least a 20-minute notice before the press conference. We're having a press conference tonight, no matter what. I'm going to give you 20 minutes before. It's going to be in your email. I'm going to start calling and texting you in case you miss it. 20 minutes. We'll have a heads up. Right now, I do not have a time. I don't have an approximate time. I'm sorry.
All right, guys, we're going to meet back up when they go back on. So keep a lookout for the notification, and I'll see you later. We'll stay on top of it.